Hello, N4H&H here. Now there's Bruce, my mobile. First sunshiny day since the storm, the winter storm came through and took down these trees. Of course, right after it happened, first thing in the morning, I went to work getting the ZS6 BKW back up. There's the center point for it. The Fritzel's gonna take a little while. There's the Diamond X50, there's the Cushcraft R5. And so anyway, here you go, without all the snow. There was actually still snow on those trees this morning. It's literally melted within the last hour or two as it's gotten up to 45 degrees. The sagging coax there and that cable, well, that cable is what once secured that coax, just to, to keep it from sagging. The cable was pulled loose over here at the deck and jerked loose, which is okay. The hook let go. That's probably what kept it from snapping. So up there, well, you can see there's the tree that broke off. Let me zoom in. See? Big Georgia pine. Still a lot of it left. And then of course there's the trunk that broke off. And then on the way down, it hit that tree. See? And that tree wide off like that. Well, here's the why. There's the Y. So it took that off on the way down, and that's what I had to saw away from my coax that you saw in the last video. There's where I sawed it. So it would relieve that RG213. And if any of you have watched the video that I released Tuesday at noon, and it is Tuesday as I film this, showing how I replaced the coax on the ZS6 BKW. Well, that was before this happened, and I showed in there how to solder a PL259 on, and that is how the PL259 was soldered onto the coax that's going up to that ballon. Let me zoom in as best I can, but it's about center screen right now. There's a 6-to-1 ballon for a Fritzel off-center fed dipole, and that's the same soldering technique I used on that RG213 in the early 90s when I soldered it on that RG213. So it's been up there that long. This is the second time it's had a tree come down and lay across the coax and pull on that connection. So you won't get me to solder a connector on any other way than the way you see in that video that released today at noon. So you can see what I have to deal with now. It's some cleanup. I'll have to get the other half of the Fritzel going again. Let me zoom back out here, and you can see. Let me see if you can see there the insulator for the ZS6. There we go. See the white thing? And that's going over to a pine tree that I showed you in the previous video. Has a bungee. There it is. You can see it in the middle of the screen there. See that bungee? Well, that was my strain relief for that side of the ZS6, and it obviously worked, along with the rock that I have laid on the ground right there. It has a rope going up through a hook. You can see the rope that goes up to the center point, so that gave some relief as well, and it kept it from breaking that wire on the ZS6. I'm very thankful that my ZS6 BKW is still functional. As far as the Fritzel, trying to find the end, the short side. Let me see if I can get through here. I don't see the wire now. Let me look for it, and then I'll turn the camera back on. There is, look at that, see that wire? That's the 45-foot side of the Fritzel. It does appear frayed, so it may have been actually broken And two, I'm hoping that I'll eventually find the, oh wait a minute, I see possibility of it. Find the insulator, and if I do, maybe I can put it back together. Ironically, the SWR is not way off on it. Even with it just like that right there, it's functional. All right, let me go over there and see if that's the insulator I see. Well, here we are, close up at the tree. There it is, the bigger tree. And there, of course, where it broke off. And then this is a part of that tree that was torn off and goes across there to where it landed on my coax. But look at this. There it is. The insulator for the Fritzel. And it does look like there is no wire there. I'm going to take a closer look. So there's the answer to that. See the insulator? It didn't tear the wire into, it just pulled it out of the insulator. You know, this is an original Fritzel by Kurt, that's K-U-R-T, Kurt Fritzel of Germany, all center fed dipole. And so it looks like I'll just be able to reattach the wire to the insulator and I'll be good to go. Looks like it did break my rope. Well, maybe it just came. There was a hook in the tree that I had it wrapped on, so maybe the hook pulled out and everything else is intact. So hopefully this won't be too bad of a repair. Well, check it out. I've got the wire routed back through the insulator. Now I just need to go get a clamping device to secure that, and I think I can have the Fritzel operational today. Okay, N4H&H here. So I went to Home Depot, got some ring tongs, as they're called, and I'm going to modify that to crimp this. Could have got the cable crimps, in fact I did, but I want something that actually intentionally will give way in case this happens again. So here we go. Okay, so let me explain the method to my madness. So I took the big ring tong, routed the cable through it, through the insulator back, and yeah, it was frayed, so that was a little bit tough, but right back through it. Now I'm going to crimp it, and then I'll just cut off this ring. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm having to hold the camera so I don't have somebody else to film this while I do it, but I'm just going to cut that off with these pliers right there, and then I'll crimp this and I should be good to go. Okay, it's crimped. Now pliers down and let's take a look. All right, so ideally, this being a softer metal that this crimp's made out of, if it happens again, it'll do the same thing again. It'll pull loose of the crimp and save the insulator and the wire. Okay, I'm gonna pull the Fritzel back up. Okay, pulling up the Fritzel. See, I just have these loops and a pulley up there at the top. So, all right, let me finish doing this and I'll show you how to secure it. Okay, so see what I've done here? Think of it as a type of fuse. So I've just got a twig, which there are plenty of, and this is a system I've used before, and I'm going back to it for this scenario here, rather than using a bungee or a rock, because this will allow a lot more rope to go up if needed. So if there's enough tension on this, I had to get a bit bigger stick because I broke two. You just loop it around a couple of times so it pulls tight, and then you know, if it needs to, when the rope pulls from, you know, something pulling down on the wires up there, it'll break that twig and then the rope will feed freely. Okay, so spare ropes hanging on a bike hook that I screw into the tree, and then here's some slack for if that stick has to break and provide some relief. Okay, see the insulator? And then I've got a pulley there. It might be too dark on this side of the tree for you to see it, but there's a pulley. And then the Dacron rope comes down and is tied to that rock. So if it needs some relief, the rock will go up and then it'll come back down. Okay, I'm gonna go inside now and test the Fritzel FD-4 3 kilowatt version and see if it's back up and running. Okay, N4H&H back from the outside repairs of the Fritzel FD-4, the 3 kilowatt version. So I'm going to start on 6 meters here and check the SWR. So here we go, no tuner, so straight to the antenna using a WM1 computing watt meter. It's a extremely accurate meter, no longer manufactured sadly. Okay, so AM mode, I'm in the sideband portion of 60 meters. See, nobody talking. All right, so here we go. 1.2.5, I'll take that. And it's not gonna extend much up into 6 meters. I mean, it's not gonna go up. It's gonna start getting high here at in the FM portion. See, it's over 2. Yeah, correctable with a tuner. All right, and I'll go to 10 meters. Middle of the sideband area. N4H&H testing. Okay, here we go. 1.4 to 1. Y'all seeing that? There you go, 1.4 to 1. All right, N4H&H clear. And let's see, we'll go to, put that back in USB. Next band that it should cover is 12. N4H&H testing. All right, here we go. 1.2.5. Again, no tuner. So 6, 10, 12. It does not cover 15. If you want to see, it's just not a harmonic multiple that it can do. N4H&H testing. You can see already it's 3.5 to 1. All right, so we'll go to 17 meters. There's my power line noise. N4H&H testing. 1.3.5 at 18,130. I'll take that. 20 meters. So I'll go down to about 14.2, the middle of the band. Somewhat middle. A little lower than that.
I think we wrote there then. Take care.
Okay, 180. N4H&H testing. Just shy of 1.5. Okay, while I'm in that mode, I'll just run on down to the bottom end. Okay, about 1.6 down in the CW portion, I'll take that. And then all the way up to the high end. .4. Okay, that's very good for 20 meters. All right, and not 30. Remember, 15, 30, 60 are bad harmonic multiples here for this type of antenna. This is an 80 meter off-center fed dipole with a 6 to 1 balun. Okay, so 40 meters. I'll try right along in there. N4 H&H testing. Okay, 1.6. I'll go down to the CW portion. 1.49, just shy of 1.5. Okay, and then we'll go up to 7 dot, just below 7.3. Okay, running about 1.8 there. So all still doable. Now this antenna's only going to give you about 100 kilohertz of bandwidth on 80 meters, but it will. And I actually did a couple of coils of mine, the coax RG213 coming into the house. And if you watch the video earlier today of me, because I'm gonna try to get this one posted here on Tuesday, the same day that I posted the one about changing the coax on my ZS6 BKW. So you saw how the coax comes in. Well, as the RG213 enters that drop ceiling, I've got several turns there, I'd say 12, 14 inch turns with some ferrite chokes. Then it comes over to where the radio is and down the wall over there. And you can't see it, but let me move the camera. See it there, coiled with some chokes on it down there. Okay, there. All right, that's the RG213. And those coils have helped me get a little bit broader response on that antenna. Let's see what we do here on 80. Go to the middle of the band. So 3750. N4 H&H testing. Okay, AM. Wow, not even 1.2. Okay, now we'll go down to the CW portion. So I'll park it there on 3503. 1.4. It'll get pretty high here, I'm sure. We'll see. Yeah, over 2 to 1. So that's okay with me. It's favoring the CW portion and the extra portion of the band, and that's where I hang out. N4 H&H testing. 1.5, I'll take it. I believe the sweet spot's going to be somewhere around 3660 or 3650. Let's see. Not even moving the meter. Yeah. I'll take that. All right, so there you go. The Fritzel is back in business, doing what it's expected to do, working the bands it's supposed to be able to work. So it's good on 6, 10, 12, 17, 20, 40, and a large portion of 80, really, more than what they manufactured. You know, the paperwork that came with it said 100 kilohertz of bandwidth on 80. And, you know, I'm seeing really more usable bandwidth than that, from 3.5 up to about 3.9. So, you know, I'll take that. And I say 3.9, let's see. I think it was, yeah, it was still good at 3868. So let's see. It'll go to 3.9. Well, 1.7 at 3.9. Livable. Solid state amp may not like that, but you know, but a tube amp definitely wouldn't have a trouble. But touch it up with a tuner and you're in business. All right, hey, thanks for watching today. Thanks for watching this video. As some of you kept asking, well, hey, what about the Fritzel? So I thought, yeah, let me go out there and set. Boy, it's a mess. I'm definitely going to have that professionally removed. There's some hardwood that somebody could burn. My neighbor actually, and he came over while I was working on the antenna and said he'll take some of the hardwood, but big pine, nobody's going to want that except for maybe a fire pit. So I'm going to have that professionally taken out of here. It's just so much of the top of the tree everywhere. So it's just a lot of small stuff that's all over the place. And then the big stuff's going to have to be sawed with some good sized chainsaw. So I'm going to take my time on that because I can. It's not really in the way of anything. The antennas are back up. The crews are very busy right now, so they're charging a premium. So I'll wait until maybe when they've got less going on, and I'll try to get somebody out here to take care of the rest of it. So thanks again for watching the process here of getting the Fritzel FD-4 back up and running. I've had that antenna since the early 1990s. It's even moved QTHs with me, so it's nice to have it back up and running again. Okay, hey, thank you, Patreon supporters. I sure do appreciate you guys for helping me out, keeping this channel going. If you like content like this, you want me to keep bringing videos like this, I try to give you practical tips and, of course, focus a lot on using the radios. But other things too, when things like this happen, inclement weather, fixing antennas. If you like this type of content, you can help keep me able to justify doing this, taking the time to do it by supporting the channel as a Patreon supporter. I'll put the Patreon address here. It's www.patreon.com/N4HNH. And, appreciate that if you'd come on board and help out. And then, of course, subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you would, click that notification bell so you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. Again, thanks for watching, and 73 from N4HNH.